everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm David, and this is Alex. No glasses, no glasses. All right, and we're gonna be talking about what happened this past Monday and Tuesday. So it started things off with everybody in the women's division being, in the ring already, and Alexa Bliss had won the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley the night before at Payback, and so that happened, and in the end, it ended up being a brawl in the ring with all the women from the women's division, and in the end, it ended up being a 6-person tag match. I'm sorry, 8-person tag match. It was Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Emma, and Alicia Fox versus Bayley, Sasha Banks, Dana Brooks, and Mickie James, which is pretty cool because Mickie James is already in the good side, so that's pretty awesome. The thing that was not awesome is that Alexa Bliss and her team ended up winning with a thumb to the eye to Bayley, and caught her off guard, DDT, boom, and Alexa Bliss ended up winning also with everybody else. So I mean, right now it's just the rivalry with Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Hopefully Bayley can get her title back, because I mean, Alexa Bliss, I feel like she won the title a little bit too quick. So I mean, in the end, it was a good match. It was pretty awesome because they used everybody from the women's division into a match. I've never seen Alicia Fox wrestle that much. It's good seeing Emma wrestle again, as usual. But yeah, that happened. I mean, what did you think of the match, Alex?
Towards the women's division, which is essentially what everybody wants to see. They want to see that aggression. And so with her being the new women's champion, I feel like she's going to do a lot in order to improve the women's division to from what it is now. So overall, the match on Monday with the 6-person tag team match,
8-person,
8-person. I'm sorry, 8-person tag team match. I thought that it was pretty good overall. But moving on to Gallows and Enzo, they had a match, and I feel like this rivalry has been ongoing since, I don't know, I want to say like 2 months already.
Yep.
And it just keeps on going back and forth. One team wins, the other team doesn't. The one team wins the next week, and then the other team doesn't. And they keep on doing, matches 1-on-1. But this past week it was Gallows and Enzo facing off 1-on-1. And unfortunately, Gallows did win. I'm not a big Gallows fan, but and Enzo did end up losing. So I see that this rivalry is going to keep on going. But as far as the tag team division goes, I don't see them going anywhere for tag team gold anytime soon. Your thoughts?
For me, I think that Enzo and Luke Gallows was probably a dumb match, only because Enzo wanted to prove that he was better than Gallows, because Gallows is bigger than him. He's basically another Cass, and it's just one of those things that it's just, you can't really do that. It's like going up against the Big Show, It's like Rey Mysterio versus the Big Show, You can't do that because, you're going to lose eventually. As far as tag teams, I don't see Enzo really doing much. I feel like Big Cass is pulling his weight. We'll see what happens with them, because it doesn't seem like they're going to be going into for tag team gold just yet.
Yep.
They were close at one point, but I mean, doesn't look like they're going to be heading there too far. But another match that happened on Raw was about the cruiserweights, and it was like what was it, another 8-man? Was it? It was
6-man tag team.
Yep, it was a 6-man. It was Rick Swan, Akira Tozawa, sorry, I can't say that, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. They defeated Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Noam Dar. Not really a big fan of cruiserweights, to be honest. It is pretty awesome that they're showing a lot more cruiserweights at Raw versus 205 Live, where it's just 1-on-1 matches. But I really think that the 205 Live is not that great. They need to put it on Raw so that way the stories can be developed on Raw. You know, like that to me, it was awesome seeing all of them, wrestle. But as far as
Yeah, because
cruiserweights go, I think it should be.
going off of what you're saying with the
Yeah.
storylines, I think the only one that everybody can actually see from 205 Live and on Raw is the one with Austin Aries and
Yep.
the King, the King of the Cruiserweights. So Neville. So with only their storyline going on, I mean I feel like nobody really cares about everybody else.
Yep.
Yes, they can make a good show and they have tons of moves, but everybody wants that storyline to see where they're going and where they're headed because right now it doesn't look like they're headed anywhere soon.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that looks like it's going to be on top for right now is like probably TJ Perkins, and that's because he's on Neville's team and Austin Aries. I'm just wondering if Austin Aries is going to have anybody like a follower on his team too. So
We'll see.
if we see something like that, like a rivalry like that going on Raw and on 205 Live, then maybe we're going to see a better storyline for the cruiserweights. But moving on to the next match that happened on Raw, which was Apollo Crews and Heath Slater. We haven't seen Heath Slater in action in a while. Ever since he came back, he came over to Raw from SmackDown, but he did come over with Rhino, so we definitely know that that tag team is still there. And Apollo Crews came from SmackDown to Raw, and it looks like Titus O'Neil's trying to work with him in order to become a tag team. I mean, Apollo Crews as a tag team, more than likely he's gonna be able to get up there a little bit more. I don't know if Titus O'Neil is gonna be the person that will help him, but I do know that with going against Heath Slater, everybody loves Heath Slater, and Apollo Crews did defeat Heath Slater on Raw. So with that being said, I think they're gonna try to move him up a little bit.
Um,
So
I actually don't think they're gonna really move Apollo Crews up, especially with Titus O'Neil bringing him down.
yeah,
Titus O'Neil's not that great of a. I guess he's not that great of a talker. He tries to be. Um, his I forgot what his name was, but his other tag team partner that was before,
from the prime time.
yeah,
Yeah,
from primetime players, like I think they were better because he wasn't the talker, he was more of the muscle,
yeah.
and he's trying to be more of the talkative person and put Apollo Crews as a muscle guy, but it just is, I really don't think it's gonna work out. As for the match itself with Heath Slater, I thought watching Heath Slater and Rhino come back, I think it's just pretty awesome. I really liked them on SmackDown Live, so seeing them on Raw, at least it's pretty awesome seeing them,
He got kids.
baby. But point is, there was another cruiserweight match in on Raw, and it was Austin Aries versus T.J. Perkins, and T.J. Perkins was set to pretty much he is facing Austin Aries because he wants a shot at the title with Neville. That's why he's on Neville's side because right now Austin Aries is the number one contender pretty much. And once he defeated him, once Austin Aries defeated T.J. Perkins by submission, T.J. Perkins ended up injuring him on his knee, and after that, he just kept on stomping on that knee, working on that knee. He just wanted him to pretty much be injured and be out of WWE for a while, so that way T.J. Perkins can get a shot at the cruiserweight title. Don't know what's gonna happen. Don't know if he's actually injured well, well enough that he's gonna go to the hospital. But I think that if anything happened and T.J. Perkins became the champion, I don't think he would have a good run. I mean, he's pretty young, I think he's pretty young right now. He still has a future set ahead of him, and I think that Austin Aries is gonna come out on top eventually, maybe at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean this is very true. Austin Aries should have already been up there. Yeah, he hasn't been up there. He hasn't become the cruiserweight champion yet, but I think it is to come. It definitely is to come, and I do definitely see a triple threat match coming up soon for
Mm-hmm.
the cruiserweight champion,
That,
because
that can
the
happen.
three main people that are around it is Neville, Austin Aries, and T.J. Perkins. And with that being said, I mean you just see a triple threat match coming up. Either the next pay-per-view or maybe the one after that. But this rivalry is unraveling, and with T.J. Perkins on Neville's side, and I mean, he did betray Austin Aries before. What's gonna stop him from betraying Neville? Yes, he's the king of the cruiserweights, but when you don't really see a friend backstab you, especially in wrestling, it just happens out of nowhere. So I definitely do see a triple threat match. Um, like I said, maybe not in this pay-per-view coming up, but maybe the next one. And if it does come up, I mean, I already know it will. But next match that did happen on Raw was The Miz. The Miz is now on Raw, unfortunately, and he defeated Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Now, Finn Balor against The Miz, don't think that that's a good match. I think that Finn Balor should have been the winner of that match. That's for sure. What about you?
To me, I think Finn Balor should have been the winner, or even
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. But the thing that's happening right now is they want to make the Intercontinental Championship. They want to make it relevant because obviously Brock Lesnar is out. He's not in Raw right now, so they want to make the next big title, relevant enough for people to want to see the matches. So right now it is happening where it's Seth Rollins. It was Seth Rollins, The Miz, and
Finn Balor.
And the thing that I was surprised about is the fact that Samoa Joe ended up coming in and attacking Seth Rollins, and that pretty much put him out of commission for the rest of the match.
But the big surprise,
was Bray Wyatt versus
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. I can't even say his name. I don't know why. I just don't remember it. He was attacked by the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. That can be a good match. If that's set to happen, I would think that's awesome. Only because it's Bray Wyatt. They're both dark people, and that's pretty awesome. The Miz versus Ambrose, another SmackDown match that we've already seen.
Yeah.
That to me, it's gonna be awesome seeing it either way. They're good performers, but in the end, I think that we've already seen.
SmackDown.
Yes, and if Ambrose had won, well, if Ambrose had gone up against Rollins, another thing we've already seen before, something like Finn Balor and Ambrose, that's something we haven't seen. That's something that maybe, hopefully, WWE is saving for us for like a later time. But as of right there and then, I mean, I don't know. But apart from all the matches that happened in Raw, there was the whole update with Roman Reigns. He was in critical condition because he ended up getting brutally beaten by Braun Strowman at Payback. If you guys didn't see Payback, he did get brutally beaten to the point that he was literally leaving in the ambulance and he got beaten up again, and it was pretty hard to watch. But I mean, hopefully they remake him. That's what I'm hoping, that they remake his persona. They give him a different character kind of thing, and he doesn't act like the dog of the Shield, he acts like himself, a different person, but for Raw, I think that's pretty much about it. For SmackDown, though, if you guys watch SmackDown, I still enjoy it, even though Jinder Mahal is the #1 contender for the WWE champion in SmackDown. I really am not a big fan of the whole thing, but Jinder Mahal ended up squaring off with Sami Zayn that night, and in the end, Jinder Mahal defeated Sami Zayn with the help of his henchmen, which were they're brothers. They look like twins. I really don't know much about them, but
Yeah,
that ended up happening.
From one week to another, they were just on his side.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I mean, that's definitely gonna help him win a lot of matches, and it's more. I look at it more as an authority thing, authority figure, like where the Authority would come and help out Seth Rollins back then a few years ago
with Jamie Noble.
Yeah, so that's how
like 4 feet tall people.
That's how I see these guys, and they're just there to distract them, and in order for Jinder Mahal to become the new WWE champion. Don't see him as a champion, and I don't see him beating Randy Orton anytime soon. I just don't don't see that them being in the same caliber at all. But Jinder Mahal did prove himself this past week on SmackDown by defeating Sami Zayn, like he said, and I mean sooner or later he's going to move on. He is going to be moving on to facing off with Randy Orton. Uh, when that happens, we'll talk about it. But as of right now, another match that did happen on SmackDown. Ty Dillinger defeats
10, 10, 10.
Ty Dillinger defeats Aiden English. Now, Aiden English, he was a former member of the Vaudevillains. So, with him being in the solo character now, I mean,
He's a singer now.
he's a singer. But Ty Dillinger did defeat him, and I mean, it was a quick match. It was like a 2 to 3 minute match. It wasn't that long, and I mean, Ty Dillinger, he has a lot of potential, but going up against low card wrestlers, I don't think that's gonna bring him up anytime soon.
Uh, Very true. He might stay at the mid card level. Right now he is at the low card level to me, only because he is going against Aiden English. Aiden English, he finally got a different persona. He went back to the one that he had in NXT, which was him being like an opera singer kind of thing. He's a good singer, don't get me wrong, but once he ended up losing to Ty Dillinger, he ended up crying a lot. He was throwing a tantrum, going crazy, and as he was walking out.
He did make the list. I will say
Yes,
that.
he made the list because Chris Jericho was talking to a announcer, and he caught Aiden English crying because he literally was crying all the way till he went to the back. After that, he ended up talking to him like, "Hey, you know why you crying? Why you crying?" And he goes like, "Well, you know what happens to people that cry."
Exactly. But he did make the list, and
And that, hopefully he gets brought up. Not a lot of people really like him because he's still new at that thing that he's doing, especially after months, almost a year actually, of being a vaudevillain, or vaudevillain or whatever you call him. But
mhm.
you know we'll see what happens with him. Another match that happened was women's match. It was Natalya and Carmella. Um, versus Naomi and Charlotte. They ended up losing to Natalya and Carmella because what happened was Charlotte ended up getting attacked because there's a new faction with Natalya, Carmella, and what?
Tamina.
Yeah, Tamina. There you go. Can't get my names right for some reason today. And they have like a new faction going around, and they tried to getting Becky Lynch to join. In the end, she was a little iffy about it before the beginning of the match. They ended up attacking Charlotte. Naomi was facing them off in a handicap match, pretty much. Charlotte comes out all hurt, tries to claim her territory because she is the queen, and ends up losing still.
But I mean, for me, the biggest surprise was Naomi and Charlotte being a tag team.
Very true. She's not a
I
heel.
mean, take it back a week ago, they were just wrestling for the women's champion,
Hmm.
and unfortunately, neither of them were able to finish the match because of the new faction. They came out and attacked them. Now, I mean, the sad part was that Naomi and Charlotte did lose, but they lost because somebody interfered. So now that Becky Lynch is on their side, I do see a 6 women tag team match coming up next week, where Becky Lynch is part of it in order to just even out the odds.
Yep.
But we'll see that in the upcoming week. Now, next match that happened was Dolph Ziggler versus Sin Cara, where Dolph Ziggler did think he was a little cocky before the match, and he did think that he was gonna go and just finish off Sin Cara in a snap. But what happened was Sin Cara, he actually gave him a run for his money, you can say. But Dolph Ziggler did go on and defeat Sin Cara.
Yeah, I mean, with that match, I think it's just, another Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Sin Cara and Kalisto literally have almost the same fighting skills and everything like that. But the thing is that, I mean, Sin Cara does have a little bit more, I think, than Kalisto. And yeah, like you said, he did give him a run for his money. And in the end, Ziggler ended up still coming up on top.
I think Ziggler's just trying to find his spot, and because
I think it was just a filler for the show, to be honest. Because
but
I mean, Dolph Ziggler, he should have just
the thing is that he's a good athlete, but they're not using him right.
Yeah.
Another take it back a few years ago, Morrison, it's the same thing.
Very true.
They're not using him right. He has a lot of potential. He's a former world champion, and now he's just a low level card. It doesn't make sense. But
the final match from SmackDown was Kevin Owens, and he defeated Chris Jericho. Big surprise.
Very sad.
Very sad, but the good thing is that they're making the United States champion relevant. Another thing, WWE championship at SmackDown isn't, again, Jinder Mahal, let's be honest. It's not really a match, so it's not really that great. The United States champion was better this week for the matches, but Kevin Owens ended up winning his title back because Chris Jericho did beat him at Payback, so that's why he was on SmackDown.
Rematch clause.
Which was the whole thing, why, that was the main event. Kevin Owens ended up beating him, and, it's a farewell because Kevin Owens ended up, brutally beating him really bad that he is going to be out of WWE. I mean, in reality, he's out of WWE because he has his band, he has his tour coming up, which, respect to him to that, for doing that.
Fozzy.
Yeah, that's what the band's name is. And, but the way that they took him out, I mean, I guess it makes sense,
Yeah, it makes sense for the storyline. Unfortunately, Kevin Owens is now on SmackDown officially. That's not a person I want to see, but we do have his enemy, which is AJ Styles. AJ Styles did come out on SmackDown, and he just came out and beat the crap out of him. So AJ Styles did make his little, basically marking his territory, saying, "Hey, you can't come out here and say this is my show because this is really my show. It's the AJ Styles show, basically."
And AJ Styles never fails. He doesn't even have to wrestle, and he's awesome.
Exactly. So, I mean, just with that being said, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, happening sometime soon, maybe. But as far as right now, we're gonna call this a wrap.
One more thing is that tomorrow night on Raw, there's going to be a tag team turmoil match. It's going to be in the United Kingdom. They are touring Europe right now. They've been touring Europe the whole week this past week. So that's awesome. Apart from that, the tag teams are going to be Luke Gallows and Anderson, Big Cass and Enzo, R-Truth and Goldust, which is pretty awesome, Rhino and Heath Slater, another pretty surprising thing, and Cesaro and Sheamus. We all know who's going to win because, I mean, let's be honest, Cesaro and Sheamus are already having a rival with them. They don't win. That would be unexpected and pretty awesome.
With who? With who?
With the Hardy Boys. Which Jeff Hardy did lose a tooth at Payback. Pretty awesome. That means, that he's really into his work. He didn't care. He kept on going with the match. To me, I think that was awesome.
But
wrestling is not fake.
It's still real to us, okay? Damn it.
Damn it. Yeah, all right.
All right. You guys take it easy, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Don't forget, because if you don't subscribe, then you won't be able to see our videos. All right. All right. Bye.